Hey, folks. Hopefully we have sound. We never do usually. No, I'm just kidding. I hope it's all working. It better be. Anyway, yeah. Oh, thanks a lot, Heather. Thanks. You're messing with me, aren't you? No. Awesome. Merry Christmas. This will probably be the last show of the year for Tinkering with Tech, just because it's Christmas and New Year's the next two
final
Wednesdays.
show. You shouldn't have said of the year. You should have just said this is the final show. Give everybody a little bit of a heart attack. Merry Christmas.
Glad to see anybody that's out here, anybody that's watching. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support for sure. For sure we do.
Have Roy is out there and Mike is out there.
Nice.
And hey, this guy, I like that guy. He's out there too. Hi, Andrew.
Andy, absolutely. This is wonderful. I guess I'm wishing for the snow, so I got a little snow in the background. But anyway.
I know, and I've got Arizona behind me. This is Arizona in wintertime, y'all.
So anyway, this is pretty cool because those of you that know me and a lot of the community members and stuff like that, I know that a lot of the community members are a lot like myself. Hey, Dave's like, hi, Heather. Hi, Mike. There you go. Dave,
and I'm leaving it up for a little while because he did it right. So
he mentioned you. I know. He mentioned you. I want to say that this is a platform that I know is extremely popular, but not for me. So this is going to be fun, and we're going to talk about this. And I met this young lady, I think probably through StreamYard, I think is actually how we met each other. And I was on her show a couple times, and I'm looking really forward to this because she's going to teach me some stuff that may be even a little convincing here. But without further ado, let me just say, hello, April. How are you? Yeah, there you go. You're doing like Heather. Oh my gosh.
I am. Yeah, I learned from the best.
All right. I'm removing myself. You
guys. All right, April, let's have the best show ever now.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited that you decided to come on. I really am appreciative of that. And because I know that it's holiday season, all that kind of stuff and everything, but I appreciate you taking a little bit of time out because I know that you're busy and we adjusted our time so we could accommodate you and have you on. And I do appreciate that because I think it's something that I know that some of our community members have asked about and things like that and really want to learn, just even if it's little things, just, oh, I didn't know you could do that or that kind of thing. Maybe this will be an enlightening moment for everyone.
Have you even mentioned what it is? Because you've said a whole lot, but I don't know. Did you actually say the platform?
Do I have to?
Yes, you have to say the word. Yes.
All right. It's Facebook. Facebook it is.
That's right. Facebook.
Be sure to share this. If you guys think this would be an interesting subject, share it out. I want to make sure that I say that and give us a thumbs up. Please give us a thumb way up. Okay. Anyway, so that being said, April, why don't you just kind of tell people what you do, who you are, that kind of thing. And again, you don't have to be an expert, but just tell us kind of how you got into doing live streaming and stuff like that.
Well, I heard that Heather used to be on this platform that I was on, and this is how I got into live streaming was Blab.
Oh.
Blab.im.
I was never on Blab, but yeah.
Oh, you were on Google Hangouts.
Yeah, no, I was all Hangouts. Yeah, Google
yeah.
Plus,
okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Were you? Neither of you were on Blab?
I think Michael, you watched a lot of shows over there, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. So that's where I stumbled into this, and it's an interesting story that I was never a podcast person or no. So one day I was on Twitter and one of my favorite soap stars posted a link and I just happened to be looking at my screen and he was on Blab. And that was my first introduction to it. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I get to talk to like my favorite soap star and have his undivided attention. And I just stayed there because I was meeting people and I have a special needs child, so not a lot of conversation when you have a nonverbal child at home. And so I was just going into different chat rooms and they had different topics and it was edifying for me in most cases. So I wasn't comfortable with being on camera back then. You may not know that now. May not.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool though?
I think it's awesome. I think it's absolutely awesome too, because I can't imagine you being shy of being on camera because you got a great personality. I love that.
I used to sit like this and like my light would be off and I'd be like this. Yeah. True story.
That's awesome though. I think that's great.
Raw's
Yep.
members blab. Yep. See?
Oh yeah.
I
Mhm.
miss blab. Yeah. So I just actually I started doing that because of my son's autism. I wanted to. I was like, oh, this is cool. You could get like your message out to the world, a cause, and reach people that you wouldn't otherwise meet. And it just didn't work out that way. I just started learning about all things social media, and that was in the early days of when live streaming started. So like you and many of the people that we all know, we were early adopters, and so you grew with it and you just learn everything about everything.
Yes, exactly.
Facebook.
Yeah.
That's
So that brought you to Facebook? Like actually Blab brought you to Facebook?
Well, I was on Facebook, but I was like you guys, using it for like family, friends type, keeping up with people from high school probably or wherever, and just casually using it. But once live streaming, native live started on Facebook and Blab died, there were other platforms that came into existence: Smile Time, Fire Talk, Crowdcast, all these platforms that were wanting to reinvent what Blab had going on, and nobody came close until Be Live.
true.
And I was with them for a period of time. I was an admin over there until they booted me out, but then I found StreamYard.
Now let me just ask it. And again, I think I'm right on this. That's Mac only, Be Live, or no? No, it's anything, any platform. Okay. That's right. Okay. So Ecamm is something you can use that's Mac only. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to clarify because I get confused with all those. Everything starts running together or whatever. So
yeah. So we used Be Live for like a couple of years ish, and then StreamYard now, and I love it. It's the best way to meet people.
That's
I
cool.
agree.
And you talk about getting your message out. So that's kind of how we have really been about with the tinkering with tech and everything that we've been doing is getting a message out there. And our message is just about making tech a little bit easier for everybody to use for small business or even personal use. And I think we've done a pretty good job of doing that. And like you said, getting out there and being able to live stream your message kind of, I personally, this is my own personal opinion. I like taking the pressure off being live, because I feel like when you do a recording, then you're like, oh, I can do that better. Let me try that again. And so for me, the pressure is off in a live because I feel like it's live. If we make a mistake, there's nothing you can do about it. So might as well roll through it. I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but that's how I feel about it. So do you do a lot of Facebook live streaming then?
Yeah, or we use this technology behind the scenes to just have it to use for repurposing later on when what we're ready to do is ready to be rolled out. We can go back to the archives for sound bites, and there's all kinds of tools. You guys know so many tools out there that you can use to snip and cut and tuck and all that fun stuff.
True. That's true.
True.
So,
very true. That's funny because that's what Andrew's saying here. We have trouble with so many platforms available now. I mean, that's true. It's like there is not one that's really better than all the rest because so many ways to get your message out there. It's just really about finding your spot and sticking with it and really making it work, I think, is the key.
Yeah.
So there's people who have conversations about like, what's the best platform to use? And
yes, so true.
There's that age-old thing about that people think they have to be everywhere. And like you guys love YouTube, I love Facebook. It doesn't mean you can't be on other platforms, but I would tell people, my advice to them would be get comfortable if you're just starting out with one platform and just get really knowledgeable about it before you start tinkering. Your word.
So true. No, I mean, I agree. I agree with you.
It's true.
Yep. I mean, it's so funny because when Heather and I got in about an hour beforehand, and I'm sitting there trying to set up a new mic and stuff, and she's like, "Why are you doing that before the show?" I was like, "We are tinkering with tech. That's what we do."
Right.
Yeah,
but that's nuts. Just so you know, anybody out there watching, that's nuts. It's not what you do.
Yeah, but and I totally agree with you. I think don't start with every single thing and every option and all that kind of stuff. Start like in your basement with just a camera and just one platform or something like that. That's awesome advice.
I like this from Roz. I've ended up using what is easiest for me, an iMac Be Live, because it allows multiple cameras in the stream, a Logitech C920 and C922. So it allows her to do like an overhead shot of her cards and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And Roz is one that we want to have on the show too, just to kind of go over that and show that kind of stuff too. So, but anyway, we're here to talk a little bit about Facebook. Let's chat about it. Let's go over it, and we can screen share. We can do all kinds of stuff. And if you guys have questions out there during the show, please ask those, because Heather's going to try and bring them up. They might be relevant at the time when you're talking about it, and we want to make sure and get those answered out there. I'm kind of excited, sort of.
I am excited because I have a page and I don't use it well. So teach us, please, April. Yeah. Teach us.
Yeah, teach us some of the. One of the things that I want to get out of this too, personally, is there's limitations to a profile page and a group. All those are different. What's the reason for the different three? What would be a limitation in one and not the other, and those kind of things. And you may not know all the answers to this, but I'd like to. Those are some of the things that I'd like to kind of get out and open. And if you do know it, it's great. It's going to help us. Do you see what I'm saying? That makes sense?
I do.
Okay.
You could go so deep into this stuff. Like I could talk for hours. So if we could start with what you both are like, because you said you had pages. You have a profile. I don't know if you have groups. Yeah, you do. You have a group.
I have one group. Yeah, I have a group.
What is your initial question when you're faced with those three things? Like, what's the first thing you think of is like, why do I need this?
That's a great question. I think with me, and I'll speak first to this. Why would I want to have a group? First of all, what's the difference in having a page in a group? What does it matter? Or do I need both? Or do I need just one of those? I think that's the biggest thing for me. I understand the profile. It's me. You get me. It's me, and that's how people find me, that kind of thing. But I guess in my question would be, why a group? Why a page? Let's start with that. I think that's the easiest thing first. Mm-hmm. And the difference. And the difference in the two.
Well, and you have to have a profile because you can't have anything else if you don't. So that's kind of a given.
Okay.
So
that's a given. Okay, gotcha.
The way that I've heard some people talk about it is that the Facebook page is like your front porch, whereas a group is your living room. So the Facebook page is just like for display, where you give people a little bit of flavor for who you are, what you're doing. It's like they're browsing who you are to see if they even want to get to know you first. And the group is where you invite people into so that you can have that cozy environment where people can engage in conversation. And
so let me
private
just ask this
and public.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I was going to go. Okay. So, and you're talking about group now, not page, or you can have a private page. You can't have a private page, or you can.
No.
Okay.
All pages are public, and I think that's why a lot of people refrain from having conversation on them. Plus, it's not monitored, if you will, where groups have admins who keep conversations going, who moderate what's being said, and the groups they used to have public, private, and secret. And secret, you couldn't find it. It was so secret. Like, it was not accessible unless you knew about it and somebody gave you a link. But now they did away with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So people are more apt to engage in a group that's private. And most groups nowadays are private for that reason, because they want to encourage conversation.
Yeah. It's more intimate, right? I mean, is that what you're saying about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's people like always there keeping a thread going, as opposed to on your page where it's more like, here's my live stream video, here's a meme, here's an event coming up. It's more like an advertisement, if you will.
Yeah.
And the great thing that a lot of people don't realize about pages versus groups, and especially since so many groups are private, Google, well, you probably know this, or maybe you don't, and this may be the thing that gets you to convert, Michael. Google doesn't index Facebook groups, but it does index Facebook pages.
Okay.
So you can be found through your page through Google, but not through your group. So when people ask, should I like use my page to go live or my group? I would say, if you want to be found, use your page as often as you can, with the right hashtags or the right keywords, so that people can find you on Google.
Very interesting. Okay, so
all right. So here's a question. Here's a question about privacy. How private is a private group?
The answer to that is anything really private on the internet? No. Because anybody can screenshot stuff, anybody can record a screen, anybody can take something out of a private group and share it. Should they? It depends on who you are, because I'm going to tell you, I have shared stuff because of what I do and what my purpose is in this world, because I want to connect people with each other. And when you keep things so private that other people need to know about, and I know I'm not doing any harm in what I'm sharing, I have been known to do that. I'm just going to just be real.
So it's as private as the people. So it's basically
involved.
like a trust system. So, I mean, if you tell your best friend a story and then you expect her to keep it a secret, it's only as secret as that relationship is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think people do have that false sense of security in a private group, that they think that like nothing can leave there, like it's Fort Knox. That's just not true. Right. So if you don't want something shared, just don't share it anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. The internet is not a safe place, people. Be wise. So Andrew's saying secret groups going away. That's a shame. Secret groups were fun. In other words, he was one that would talk dirty in private groups. No, that's wrong. I apologize. That was wrong. So this is a good point. Roz keeping good notes out there. Google indexes Facebook page, but not Facebook groups. So that's good to know. Is that groups in general, or only the private groups that they don't index? Will they index public groups? You don't know.
I remember testing that, but I don't think that it also depends on how often Google is going to crawl your group or even your page.
That's true.
Sometimes you test it and you're like, where is it? I don't see it. And it just, how active are you?
Right.
I'm not sure about public.
Okay, so let me just, for my personal, let's just take, so for the game show, I have a group for the game show and I have a page for the game show. The group is private, as far as I know it is. Do you want me to show that or something? I mean, I can screen share if you want me to. I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let me just show you what I've got. I mean, because I have not touched on this in forever. So I really want to, I'm not afraid to put that up there. So
Roy wants to make sure we know some public groups are indexed, just so you guys know.
Thank you, Roy.
That is what I thought, but I wasn't sure. So what is your group for? Like, what was your mindset behind creating the group?
The mindset was, we have to have a group, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
My thing was okay. I think it would be cool to have a place where people could come in and request what kind of games they would like to see, or for the game night or the game show, or maybe an environment where we have like the or a section like maybe not only requesting, but maybe if they wanted to come on the game. Hey, I love your show. I want to be able to come on. This is a place to come in. This is a group where we can chat about game shows in general or whatever the case may be. That's kind of why I wanted to start the group. But then I think I told you it got real spammy. There's all these people requesting to be a part, but I don't know if this was It was the page or the group. I can't distinguish. I can't get out of my mind the difference between the two because I know I get spammed with stuff, but I don't know which one it is. Is it on my page or is it on my group that's happening? Does that make sense?
Spammed with what? Like spammed?
Oh,
how?
like people want to join.
Oh, yeah, that would be the group then.
That's the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
But groups have gotten better in that in very recent months, they made it so that you can now see as an administrator of the group how long a person's had their Facebook profile. Whereas before you didn't know if it was like somebody from another country who just created their profile a day ago. And so now you can vet them a little bit better. Plus you can ask 3 questions inside your group before that person ever makes it in. And usually if they're a spammer, I don't think they're going to take the time to really put thought into answering those questions if you make them juicy questions.
Right. No, that makes sense. So, okay. So you and I both, I think, are in the StreamYard group.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I love that. There's a lot of conversations. There's a lot going on. I can help people. I love helping people. That's why I do the show that I do. And it's fantastic. It's fascinating and fantastic. And I really love that group. Do they have a page?
Yes.
So why would I ever want to go to their page if I can get all that I want and that kind of stuff? I mean, am I asking the right question there or?
You are right, because I don't think they rarely use their page unless they have like a new feature coming out and they want to use that page as like a billboard, if you will, so that
for the public.
Yeah.
For the public. Okay. So let me ask you this then. So Gage is the owner. He has a personal profile, but he has a page and he also has a group. Why would he not just put it on his profile? Or why would, and again, I'm just asking to try and learn a little bit. Okay. Why would he have to go to his page to do that? Why wouldn't he just, because it's him. And I know that's his product. His page is his product maybe. And I get that, but why would he have to go to that route? And is his a public group? It's not, is it? It's a private
No, it's
group.
private.
It's a private group. Okay. So it's not seen by the public.
Well, they can find it if they do a search of StreamYard. It'll show a group and a page, and somebody will make that decision. Do I want to like the page and follow it? Do I want to follow the group and get notifications for the group?
So they can see what's in the group, or they can see that, hey, Gage has to say, okay, I'm going to allow this person now in because they're interested in StreamYard.
Yep. He has to accept them in.
That's the right answer. Okay. So all they see is that there is a group.
Right.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm clear on that, because that's what
the groups have a place where you can put a description so people can see what the group is about before they even decide if they want to join it. And the other thing is why people might choose a page versus a group to check something out like StreamYard is that, like you said, there's a lot of engagement in the StreamYard group, and most people will go into the group to check it out, and they will immediately turn off their notifications because there's all that constant back and forth, and they don't ding, ding, ding.
Yes, good point. So
and on pages, you don't have that.
Okay, you don't have that. Why? Oh, because the page is just me giving out information. Yeah. There's no responding and there's no cross communication, all that kind of stuff. Oh, okay.
You can be more selective on a page about what you want to be fed through what you check off in the notifications.
Okay, so you don't have the interaction. You don't have the engagement and the interaction that you have like in a group or whatever. Okay, so a page is just like, okay, so now I think I'm starting to understand. This is like my website. The page is like my website.
Yeah.
Within Facebook. Hey, here's where I can advertise. Here's where I can push it out. It's all public. It's searchable. Here's some cool stuff going on. That's what the page is for that particular game show. Hey, this is where I can promote. Here's our next show. Da, 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 da. Nobody can respond. Nobody can react or whatever. If you want to become part of the group, here's the link to that. Go ahead and I guess apply. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but if you want to join the group, here's the link to do that. And then they could go and click that link and do whatever. Am I kind of on the right track?
Kind of. People can still get, people can like stuff, love stuff on your page. They can comment. But because it's more like that broadcasting out to people of what's going on, and here's the event, and here's the live stream, and here's, a Facebook ad or what have you, you just don't tend to get many dings from that because most people don't comment all day long on a page like they do in a group. And the awesome thing is that you can direct people to your group through your page because you can now tie your group to your page.
Oh, you can. So you can do that.
Yeah.
So here's how Andrew describes it. I look at it as page equals public promotion, group equals actual social contact. And Roy also said Facebook page equals broadcast and Facebook group equals conversation. Yeah. So very much along those same lines. And then Andrew mentioned page only lets the owner initiate a post, right?
People can post on pages.
And they can, but it's not really seen publicly. Like you have to dig for it. Yeah.
Like there.
Yeah, and that's not an easy way to communicate. I know that some people have tried to communicate with me on my page that way, and it's like I don't even get, as the owner, I don't even get a notification of that until way later. Whereas if they'd have messaged me privately, I would have gotten that instantly type thing. So
that's crazy. That's awesome though. I mean, it's good. What's that?
I was reading all the comments because somebody, I think you called him Mike. Is his name Mike? NLTM?
Yes, that's Mike.
Mm-hmm.
He said Facebook page is a push communication, and so I always wondered, like, is that different than some other type of notification?
Yeah, so it would be me as the owner. I'm pushing communication with the public by posting on my page, whereas in a group, it's more community centered where others are actively interacting, and it's different than pushing notifications out to people.
Yeah.
That's the way I read that.
But,
and then here, Roz has another summary just to add to the summarizing. Profile is me, page is my business, groups are my interests and interactions. And that's a good way to look at it from the consumer side, because for those of us who may never have ownership of a group or a page, we still interact with them. We still interact with pages. We still interact with groups. So what do they mean to us?
The thing I learned too, in my eyes, is that I'm not a member of a page. I can go see somebody's page. I'm a member of a group.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Right. So I'm a member of a group, but not necessarily a page. I might follow that page or like that page or whatever, but it's not like I don't want to say I'm not part, because like you said, I could leave a comment or whatever, but at the same time, that's not what its purpose is. It's more of giving you the information about that particular page. I use my Little League as an example. Okay. The Little League has a page where it feeds out information. Hey, if you want to go sign up, registrations now, all that kind of stuff and all that kind of thing. Whereas they might have a group where we can all, as a member, get in as a group and actually participate in the conversation. Hey, we're thinking about changing this rule or whatever, whatever it is, or we're talking about this and you want to come to that. To me, kind of it gives me a good idea of I'm glad you brought it up this way, because it gave me a good idea of what that page and what the group really can get across and how you could use it. Go ahead.
So Roy has something here to share about that. I don't know if this is in line with that or not, but
be back in 2 seconds. You guys
read all that.
He says it's a question, but I don't see a question mark, so we'll see.
Right. There's an addendum, I think, but we'll put it up. Okay.
Oh, of course.
So many people. Go ahead.
Many people have no clue about setting up a follow button. Oh yes, a follow button on their personal profile, so their blind friend requests can be avoided.
Yeah, and then he goes on.
So April, what is the mindset behind following first, and then if the other person wants to friend you, they will? Stop the blind friend requesting hashtag LOL.
So what does that mean exactly? I don't get that. I mean, again, I'm ignorant to it probably or whatever, right?
So Michael,
Yes.
Are you and I connected as Facebook friends?
As far as I know, yes. No, we're not. Wow. Okay.
So
Really?
do you? Yes, and so do you think that being that we're not, and though we've been having conversation inside of Facebook here and there, do you feel any less my friend, or do you see me as your friend?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. I hope.
So,
And I hope you feel the same way.
I'm feeling really on the spot right now because I sent you a friend request before the show.
Oh, that's true. That is true. Heather did do that.
And I followed your net friending page. Maybe I shouldn't have done that either.
So wait a minute. Are we not really? Oh my God.
we're not. But I
Michael's
love
going
it.
in there and checking right now. Look at that.
I am.
Yeah, no. And the
Okay.
reason is like there's so many people who use the friend request
Yeah.
in different ways that
Mhm.
I still haven't figured out if people even really know why they hit that button.
Oh, so here. This is what happened when I hit that button. I told Michael, I don't do this. I never friend request people. There is a list of friend requests for Heather Crafter that I have never responded to because
Me too.
I wouldn't go have lunch with them. It's nothing personal.
Right.
My friends are who I have lunch with. I don't have lunch with these people just because I know their name. I've seen their name somewhere. Maybe we've even been in a hangout or something. I don't know, but that doesn't mean that we're going to go have lunch. So I don't see them as my friends.
We actually have had lunch. We actually have had lunch.
We have
together.
had lunch, so
Do
we're
I count?
friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're friends. We're friends.
No,
We're-
but okay, so I don't understand.
I know, April, we're going to have to go to lunch now because I hit the button. I hope that's okay with you.
Yes. All right, so I want to understand though. Okay, so yeah, I would consider us friends, but you tell me that I'm not friend requested with you. I apologize.
Things just got really awkward. I'm just saying.
I know.
I love this. This is great because we have a contrast because Heather just friend requested me.
Right.
Michael never friend requested.
Okay. All right. Again, I'm gonna leave you two in here.
No, oh my
God. Oh my gosh, that's just fabulous.
No, but this is important because I want people to understand that just because you never hit that friend request button doesn't mean you're not friends. And just because you do hit the friend request button and somebody accepts doesn't mean you're friends.
Make you a friend, right? Okay,
yeah,
I got you.
Yeah. So there's a ton of comments coming. So I'm trying to get through them to see like where they fit in. There's a lot of stuff. So let's just take a break and go back over here.
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's go back to this. So if someone posts on your page, it remains there unmoderated until you manually go and check to see if anything else is there. Is that accurate? I don't know. That's what I stated. I don't know if that's totally accurate or not.
Yes.
It's just how it is on my page because I don't do Facebook.
Right. Yeah. So it just sits there unmoderated. It just sits there as a comment.
And anybody can read it at that point, right? I mean, if they were to dig through and find the posts that other people have made on my page, they'd read it. So if somebody said, this is the crappiest thing ever, whatever. Okay.
Wait a minute, can you leave? I wish I could get full page of this one. Ross talking about me here.
Yeah. Well,
I'm Coach Diesel on Twitch, by the way.
Yes.
So
yes.
I like Coach Diesel's thinking. I'm a member of a group. Yes.
Yeah. So she totally agreed with your statement on that. That was pretty poignant. I mean, I visit a page, but I'm a member of a group. So I think that's I like what Dave's saying here. This is I use page to get customers. My group is for the people that are customers. That's the way I saw it. My group never took off, so I closed the thing down. I was like, I don't need one more thing in my life taking up space. And so I closed it down. And now I'm kind of regretting that, listening to April talk about the differences. So here, Roz is getting back to the follow button. So maybe you can explain that a little bit more.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's kind of buried. And if you want to share your screen, one of you, I would
love to
hopefully show you where it is because Facebook recently did an update and
let's make it bigger so everybody can see, Michael. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Have no idea what we're talking about, but go ahead.
So a follow button allows people to see all of the public posts on your profile, which is that globe. Like you have.
Oh my gosh, you just walked into a territory I need to talk about, but this is like a 1-hour show. So anyway, all right, I'll keep my mouth shut.
No, I would no. Remember it though, because I want to bring it up too. So anyway, globe.
Did you make it bigger?
I made it as big as I can. You want to make it the full
really?
page? Full page.
Control plus plus. Control plus plus plus.
All right. I can do that too. There we go.
That's scary, Michael. You know how to do that. That's scary.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
So you see that person whose name I can't pronounce, Yifat Cohen?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
There's a globe underneath her name next to 35 minutes. So that means it's a public post. And so anybody who's following her, they don't have to be her friend to see that. They just can follow her public posts. So anytime she puts something that's public, anybody who's following her will see that, and they don't have to be her friend.
Okay.
So if you don't want somebody seeing like pictures of your family or, you know, things that you just don't want the whole world to know, then you would prefer that they follow you so that they can at least be notified of things that you do want to make public from your profile. And I already said
so maybe not a friend, but follow. You want to follow someone, but not friend them. That's kind of where you're going with this.
Yeah, it's for me, it's a way I use it to follow people where I'm like, I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. So I'm not going to friend request you because that would be like me coming to your house after I just met you at the restaurant.
At lunch.
That would be like Heather saying, I haven't yet met April, but I really want to be her friend apparently. And I'm just going to bring this up because Roy said, by the way, Heather, April did accept your friend request right before the show started. Thank you, Roy. And April, thank you.
Yes. I feel like I know you, Heather. I feel like
I do now. Girl, we are going to lunch. There's no question.
We are. Where do you live?
We'll talk about that after the show. We'll make it work.
That's right.
So for me, when I want somebody to know that I'm interested in them, I'll just follow them. And then a lot of times people will see me follow them and they'll friend request me.
So if I scroll down, I might have someone on here that shows up, or is it only people that are going to that I follow will show up? Does that make sense?
Okay, wait. Let's go back to the original thing. So if your only choice for a person is they either friend request you or they never see anything on your profile, which you may not even care because you're never on Facebook.
Well, I'm on there because I'm over there helping in that community or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like here's one, Mia Voss that it doesn't have a globe.
Right. So anybody who's following her is not going to see that post because she doesn't want them to. She's got boundaries.
Oh, see, this is
so this is just for friends, right? Yeah. This is just for friends then, right?
Now, I want you to know, going back to what Roz said earlier about privacy, Mia Voss's private post on her profile has now been made available through
we just shared it. So,
and it's not even intentional. It's just, this is like, that's why I want people to know nothing is private because things happen.
Yeah.
Right.
So let me make sure I get to the right. Okay, so like right here, this one, this is pretty decent with that. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, thank you. This is Rhonda. She has a show now at 2:00 that she does. Her and her friend. I can never remember. I know it's not Ivana. It's Ivana, I think is the way she pronounces her name. But this is a public one. This is shared publicly. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to get that out. They're back doing a show and they want to do that at 2 p.m. on Wednesdays. This is where the example that you're talking about, public, as opposed to just friends. So let me ask you this real quick. So if I wanted to post just to my friends or just to the public, when I create that, can I do that? I mean, can I set that up and do that?
Yep.
So let's go back. Let me go back and I'm going to go back to the top where I would put a post And how would I do that when I'm doing that? So right here.
Mhm.
Right here.
Yep.
So, okay, I can send it to friends only. And
Or
then
friends accept, and you can set that so that you can exclude people, like maybe your cousin that you don't want to see your post because
okay.
she might have an adverse response to what you're posting.
I got
Or if you're doing like a surprise party and you don't want the person to know, that would be a good time, right?
Or if I just
not
like
everything
Andrew,
has to be bad.
like Andrew in our
you
community,
don't want
I
Andrew
don't
to
like
see
him.
diddly.
Like I don't like him, and I don't want him to see it.
Right.
Andrew knows I'm kidding. Andrew knows I'm kidding, but I just
I'm gonna show your face so he knows.
That.
Yeah.
There's a more button too where you can just set it to
specific friends. Oh, wow.
Or only yourself if there's something that you just kind of want to bookmark that you don't have time to read or.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, so Roy is saying that the follow button is not available by default. So all this we're talking about following people, if you don't have a follow button on your profile, it's because you haven't set that up. Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you would set that up in your personal, like I would go to my personal thing here and set all that up. Is that what you're saying?
It's buried in the settings. So that's why a lot of people don't know about it. If you go up to the top right where the question mark is on that blue bar, there's a drop down.
Oh, okay.
No, next to the
next to the drop down. Yeah. Okay.
I'm like pointing like you can see settings.
Okay.
And if you on the left, it says public posts in the third section there.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
There's
you can follow me, friends, public, anybody. Gotcha.
Yeah, but there's a way, I think Roy found it. This is what I mean by they changed the
things change a lot on Facebook, which is one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan. That's one of the things that keeps me from jumping in feet first, is because things change so often. But
let me ask this: like, do you have this is my friends? I can choose public or friends and people that can follow me. Does it have the same thing on a page or that kind of thing? Does it have the same thing on a page or a group? Who could, not a group, obviously, because a public one maybe. But can you set that setting as well, or no? Or how's that work?
On pages, anything you post can be seen by anybody.
Okay. That's good to know. So there's no setting or anything to make it just, okay. That's good. I mean, that's what you're trying to do though. That's your promotion to try and get it out. That's the way I've learned this today is that a page, hey, this is where you push everything out. This is
I love this. We're going to take a break for just a second here. Roy said, hey, Michael and Heather, April and I should do a live. Go ahead and say that for me.
Interask.
Interaskive workshop. That's clever. For your paid community about the mechanics or friend request follow button settings. Oh my, I love it. That sounds like an excellent workshop. Excellent workshop, which was just put out there publicly documented. Everyone who is a member of the Tinkering with Tech community automatically knows now this is happening. There's no question about it. So we'll set that up, right?
Paid for workshop. We'll even pay you guys to do a workshop. There you go.
That's definitely on the books. Yeah,
for our community.
I think yourselves included and your community, I think those who are not so keen on Facebook, I think if people knew more about where to go to find things, to see how you can better use it from that mindset perspective, I think more people would persuade themselves to use it.
Listen, even if I never used it for business, just to help my 96-year-old grandmother, because she loves Facebook, but she struggles all the time. And I'm like, Grandma, I don't know, because I don't Facebook. Okay. So I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'm just desperately trying to keep her safe on there. That's it. So if that's all I learn how to do, it's totally worth all the money I'm going to pay you, which is going to be a lot. I can tell you right now. It's going to happen. Thumbs way up for sure.
It would be worth that. I mean, I think it would be worth that kind of thing.
Totally. Thank you, Roy, for offering yours and April, unbeknownst to her.
Thanks, Roy.
Yeah.
And he does say that Facebook pages are public by default and can never be made private ever. And I know that. Yeah, I see that in every post that I make. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And also your profile picture is the same way, right? Your profile picture is always public. You can't privatize that, right?
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So it's something to keep in mind also.
You can
But
change it. You can make it whoever you want.
yes, you can, George Clooney. Yes, you can.
What? No, that's my picture. That's not George Clooney's picture. What are you talking
Right.
about?
Right. I look alike. So Andrew thinks that's a great idea. Andrew's on board,
Yeah.
so then we're doing it. There's no question about it. So
I think that would be a great workshop to have, actually.
all right, so there's so many comments, you guys, and I want to get to all of them. It's why I'm not ultra keen on Facebook too. They change stuff often. And to be fair, everything changes. I mean, every platform has changes. Even StreamYard, which we absolutely love, and they're
Yes.
making changes all the time as well, which is a good thing, but it's also makes things a little bit more difficult to use. And for me, it seems like Facebook changes like at a whim. It's not the case. It's because I'm rarely on it. That's the truth, because I'm on it so little that I know it changes often, just not as often as I think it does. But
I love,
yeah.
one thing I love. So we're in this show, right? And Scott Peachy, who has been on our show, okay, he's sending me a message right now. He says, "Hey, dude, does StreamYard have 1080p?" Things like that, because I'm telling you, people are loving the StreamYard platform. I'm serious. I'm going to give them kudos right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the brand up there for them, because I'm going to tell you something. Anybody that doesn't use, or you want to use StreamYard, I recommend it, because let me tell you something. This is an amazing, great platform. I got to give them kudos. I do. And this is our last show.
And it really works really well with Facebook.
Hold on. As Heather says, this is the last show.
Period.
The final show. But seriously, it works really good with Facebook Live. I mean, watching a Facebook Live that uses StreamYard is pretty awesome. Way better, I think, than the native Facebook Live that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I love how you can bring in the comments, and then when you're watching a native, the comments, I don't know, it just seems better. I'm talking over what I know factually, but I've seen a few of the StreamYard Facebook Live streams. I'm overdoing that word, but yeah, I've seen a few of them, and I really like how StreamYard works with it. It's great, and it's almost like they had that first in mind when they created StreamYard. It seems to me
very convenient
is where it's at.
For ease of use. Very convenient for ease of use too, I think. I mean, do you see? And I know we need to probably stop this or whatever. I mean, we need to wrap it up. I hope you'll come on again, because I'm sure there's more questions, and I'm sure
it sounds like we have to have Roy back on too. Roy's gonna have to, we're gonna have Roy and April, and we'll just sit back and watch them do the show.
Well, you guys are the ones that partnered up though with this, right? I mean, you're the net friending kind of gurus, so to speak. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
I wanted you to talk about that. Are you not going to talk about that? You don't have a show?
You can.
You can. Come on. Share.
No, well, we don't have a show right now, so stay tuned. Just
all right.
Okay.
So if I were to say follow that page, because I did, then I would get any kind of information that you guys put out about your next.
Well, I'm using it right now just for things that I don't like. I had a podcast come out yesterday that somebody that I met in another group. We befriended each other, did some meet and greets behind the scenes, and she told me the type of people she has as guests on her podcast. I'm like, oh, that sounds like me. And she said, okay. And I did a podcast about my journey as a mom with a special needs child, and my parents both battled cancer at the same time, and my mom passed last year, and I got divorced a few years ago. So a lot of stuff in a short time, and she makes for great, storytelling. So I put the link on our page because it's public.
It's awesome. I'm learning. This is awesome. I liked, I can't say that I liked every one of your shows, but I loved it because you were real open and you invited everybody. Does that you're not going to like every one of my shows. I mean, I get that. That's just part of it. The nice thing is that you can go and see it if you want. That's what I love about, this is what I love about this kind of thing. And I know that a lot of times, you know, people say like TV, you know, TV, it's there, it's etched in stone, it's whatever, and that kind of stuff. Where this, we can just have fun, we can talk about whatever, we can get off on tangents, and it doesn't matter. Does that make sense? I mean, because I love what that you were that same way.
Well, I think nowadays we see so many people using live streaming to promote a business, and
Right.
net friending is all about friendship first, businessship second. And if more people would embrace the fact, and I share this in common with Kim Garst, because we had this conversation in her live stream today, me texting and her talking, that if people would just do like what you guys do, what we're doing, and just come from a place of serving others and befriending, and you do have a business, that revenue stream will follow, because people are going to love you first, and they're going to love who you are, and they're going to shout you out to other people and say, oh my gosh, you got to go see Michael and Heather, and they're amazing. And I feel that about both of you, because this is my jam, this environment. I'm my natural habitat.
Well, that's why I asked to be your friend, April. That's why. So we got to do lunch. Basically, that's the bottom line.
It's a sympathy thing. No, all right. We're gonna offer up some time for our community to come in and talk to you one-on-one or whatever, and ask their questions if they have questions. Anybody that wants to become a member, please. I mean, we have it out there for everyone to have an opportunity, and you will see. Just see what some of the things I think I put it on there that we have, you know, the so many benefits, such as daily tips. I do a daily tip for people, monthly workshops, expert help. And lately, since I haven't had baseball, because anybody that knows me know how I do baseball, I've actually had a daily workshop just about every weekend. So in these workshops, this is exactly what we're talking about, like what you're offering up. You would come into the community and do a workshop for us. That's the kind of thing that we're trying to do and promote and get these kind of things and benefit some of the community members. There you go. Ross does well. Member and Tinker. Yeah, thank you very much.
And I was just going to say, we have several community members out in the audience, and I do want to make sure that I mention that I'm grateful for your comments. Thank you, Roz, for being out there, Andrew, and we got Mike is out there as well. He's talking about being forced to upgrade his StreamYard because of all you're talking about. And then of course we do have Miss Sheila is out there as well, and she did mention she gets notifications for any action on her page, but she probably pays more attention to it than I do. So that's so I just want to make sure you guys know how grateful we are that you're out there, and thank you so much for continuing to be a part of things, because honestly the community, I think, is a lot of what you've been talking about, April, is the people being there for the people, and the people being the driving force behind everything. And for Michael and I, the whole reason why we started this entire thing, I mean, we called it H&M Show at first, is because we wanted to help.
We did not.
I called it the H&M Show, and that obviously did not work. Obviously. Anyway, I'm not hurt by it, but anyway, my whole point to this is to say that we wanted to help people, and we wanted to continue what Ronnie Bincer had started, and we wanted to keep that up. And so in doing that, that's why we created that community, and that's why we have these wonderful opportunities to have guests on like yourself, April, and we're just so grateful that you're here. And for Roy throwing you under the bus and volunteering you for another thing, that's awesome. We love that as well. Yeah. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to both of you. I cannot wait to do that, because I think I need to learn. I came up with some questions already just from this little chat here. I have more questions than I had when we showed up, but I want to know why I would do public for some posts and not public for some posts on my profile. And I want to know more about why I would use my page and how, and I really want to know if I need to reinstate a stupid group. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. That's what we're going to do.
Well, one more little teaser, because this is my way of getting invited back, is like, I think I'm going to leave you with this just to keep you wondering. Facebook stories. This is, nobody asked me for my prediction for 2020, but that's okay. My prediction is that in 2020, that's going to be like the major hot topic is Instagram and Facebook stories, because I'm learning a lot of stuff that you can do with that most people aren't even using it the way that I want to use it, but
Mhm.
it gives you more visibility than you can get in your news feed or on your page.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
boy.
Really?
Oh boy. Okay, so all right, fine. I'm writing that one down because that's obviously the next question on my list. Thank you very much.
For those members, the Backstage Pass is open. I have it open. You just can't come in yet because we're in this one. But if you want to go ahead and come in, you guys can go ahead and do that. That's why I'm showing you that is available. So you can talk to April in the Backstage Pass. And April, I also want to thank you so much because we've been in communication for a long time, even though I'm not your friend.
You're not friends.
That man, I feel bad. But anyway, no, no, I know. But to me, I really do feel like your friend because I think we've had conversation and I feel like even though it doesn't say it on paper or a button, that doesn't matter. And I think that's the key thing. And my thing is too, is that everybody that's out there, if you want to, I'm all about helping people. That's what I'm all about. And Heather and I both want to help anybody we can. That's why we have a show. That's why we do this. That's why we do the community. That's why we do these kind of things. Anybody that watches this later and you want to become part of the community, I want you to become part of the community because I want to help you and we can do these kind of things that we do for you guys. And April, I know you're a giving person and you're a lot the same way. And I would love to have you back on again for sure. You will be back on again. But I think that would be a benefit to our community to pay you guys to come on and do a workshop for us as well. I mean, I know you don't want to or whatever, but that doesn't
We'll talk
matter.
about that.
It doesn't matter. We'll talk about that. But also, thank you for giving a little bit of time too afterward for our community members because I think that's important to those community members as well. And I really do appreciate you taking time out of your day and coming and talking to us. I appreciate it.
Thank you, because I love that you jumped in a seat with us twice on our show, and I recognize you as that's my vibe, that's my tribe, and just seeing how giving you both are to everybody is just it. I wish there was more of that.
Yeah, awesome. That's great, and great point too. There you go. I agree, Andrew. Yeah,
you're welcome.
There you go. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Andy or Andrew? I feel like
either one.
He answers the both.
He sometimes answers to Roy. There's several other names. So we can talk about all of that stuff in the after show. I'm going to cut it off now because right now it is at the hour. So I'm cutting you off, Michael. It's time to go. I don't want to leave either. I mean, we're going to have lunch, April, so I don't want to leave either. But
thank you, everybody, for joining us. We really do appreciate you, folks, and thank you so much. And we're going to call it an evening. I will give you, April, the link. You'll get the link so you can come over there and join us. I'll send that to your Facebook direct message or whatever that is, personal message, direct DM, whatever it is. All right. Thank you, folks. Appreciate everybody for showing up. Anybody that watches this in a replay, please, if you have any questions, ask me the questions in whichever platform that I'm sending it to, and I'll make sure and get back to April. Go ahead, April. Say something.
I was going to say, I don't, you guys, anybody who's here now or on the replay, I'm always available to, if anybody has a question, more than happy to share the answer if I know it. So please.
Super awesome.
And I've decided that Roy is like your other, there's a mind meld going on or something here. So I've just decided because he did state it's our pleasure. So I love it. That's awesome. Thank you. See you guys in 2020.
See ya. Bye, everybody. See you next year. All right. Bye.